What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Game 4 just wrapped up a little minute ago, so I'm here to talk about it. I know I did not record after games 2 or 3, so it's been like a week in between videos, but there was not really much for me to say after game 2. The Warriors had a big third quarter run. Steph was incredible. Game 3 in Boston, a little bit the same in the third quarter, but the Celtics responded with a big fourth quarter. They were doing a good job attacking Steph Curry, making him work on defense, getting switches, getting him in the post, and the Celtics were able to win that game. They played really well. And game 4, I think, is the most telling game out of the entire series, and it could be a big swing. I think both teams see things that have worked and things that don't work, so I'm here to talk about some of those things. Leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and let's get into the game. Steph Curry, that's where we got to start, because he had a true masterpiece performance, man. 43 points, 10 rebounds, I believe 6 assists. The Boston Celtics ran every coverage imaginable at Steph Curry in this game. They would, run drop coverage, which Ime has been very bold in that strategy, running it, and Steph made them pay it in that aspect. They would double the screens at the end of the game, and Steph was making the right dump off passes, which led to good shot selections for the Warriors. And then even when they switch it, either Steph was cooking, getting a good look on a jumper, or he's getting to the basket, getting to the mid-range float game. He had an answer for every coverage that the Celtics ran. Truly a masterpiece performance. This is probably the best stretch of playoff basketball I've seen Steph Curry play in his career, and that's saying something because he's played a lot of playoff basketball, especially in the finals. This is by far his best finals performance. Like, I don't think anything comes close to this at all, especially him being the true go-to guy. And it's been incredible because he has not gotten consistent help from really anyone in this series. It's been a carry job. Like, it really has been a true carry job, man. Steph has been in his bag, and you got to tip the cap, man, because that is the game that he just put on. Was like, that's one of those games where when they look back on his career, they're gonna be like, man, that was a defining Steph Curry game. Even though Steph doesn't really have much else to prove, you could say he maybe needs a Finals MVP. That will look very nice on the resume, but he's pretty much solidified as one of the best point guards ever, and one of the best players ever, and somebody that's changed the game. But this is gonna be one of those games that look back on and be like, man, Steph did everything in his power to keep his team alive, and he was able to do it, man. Shout out to Steph Curry. Incredible, because being down 2-1 on the road, not an easy place to play in Boston. And in a game where the Celtics looked like they were starting to get a little bit of separation in the fourth quarter, they subbed Steph back in, and that really changed the game. I got to give credit to Steve Kerr, because there's been times in this series where he's been severely outcoached, and then there's been other times when he's done the out-coaching. And that's why I'm always fascinated with the coaching matchup. I mentioned it in my finals preview. Like, this is going to be a chess match, and it's truly been a chess match since game 1. Like, it has been nothing but adjustments here, adjustments there from both coaches. And tonight, Steve Kerr got the better of Ime Udoka. They were able to really adjust the defense, not allow... My dad actually just texted me this too. Not allow Steph Curry to get attacked on defense. They were doing a lot more hedging, not, getting pure switches. And they were really doing a better job protecting him. There were still times where he would get switched on the Brown Tatum. Sometimes you just got to live with that. And Smart's been attacking him the last couple games. Sometimes you got to live with that. Just try not to get in foul trouble. It's okay. It happens. But that was a good adjustment. I'm not sure about the Kevon Looney coming off the bench, but think about Kevon Looney. He's going to play the same regardless. Like, he's going to be the same player regardless if he's starting or if he's coming off the bench. If he's getting 25 minutes or if he's getting 10 minutes, he's going to play the same way. He's going to do the same things. So maybe it was a decent decision. At the end of the day, Kevon Looney was on the court when it mattered the most. And I have to commend Steve Kerr, because we were talking about this in the group chat. I have to commend Steve Kerr for benching Draymond Green for about the first 8.5 minutes of the fourth quarter. I think he came back in at the 3.5 minute mark or something like that. I have to commend him, man, because Draymond he's been shit. He's been fucking terrible. Excuse my language, but he's been garbage, bro. He's been garbage. He's been doing a lot more hooting and hollering than actually just playing basketball, playing good basketball for somebody that's an all-star, a Hall of Fame caliber player. He has been god-awful this series. And the fact that the Warriors were able to win this game with him being bad, Clay not really consistently being good, and other than Wiggins and Looney, everybody else being kind of wishy-washy, that is an impressive win. That is such an impressive win to be able to do that with everything that was going on. And it seemed like it always seems like every time the Celtics have a game that looks like, oh yeah, they're about to take control of the series, they always lose it. That's just how this team is. But commendable performance by the Warriors. Steve Kerr had the guts to throw Draymond on the bench and allow him to sit and watch. And even when he came back in, they were doing offense, defense, because he's not even looking at the basket offensively. There were a lot of times where he at least has floaters or potentially layups. He's passing them up. He's passing them to Kevon Looney in the short corner or Gary Payton in the short quarter. Like, bro, you got to be somewhat. My dad always told me, like, when I was playing basketball growing up, he was like, even if you're not going to take the shot, you at least have to be a threat, like you're going to take a shot. You have to be at least of a threat. Because if the defense knows, like, yeah, this guy has no confidence, he's not going to shoot, they're just not going to play you. Like, they will really allow you to take float. They will give you the floater look, but you're too scared or too shook to take it. And despite the Warriors' wins, it was not because of Draymond Green. It was not, man. It was a lot of Steph, a ton of Steph. Kevon Looney being big, especially on the boards, and just playing so solid, man. He's been one of the biggest bright spots for this team in this playoff run. And Andrew Wiggins, probably been the second best player in this series for the Warriors. Even though, like, he never really shoots the ball amazingly, he hits timely shots, he makes timely plays. I think 15 rebounds, career high for any game, playoffs or not. Big offensive rebounds down the stretch. I think he had a couple like put back layups off of offensive boards. He was the difference. He was the difference maker in this game. Like, Steph got him there. Steph was able to help finish the job, but they needed those small plays in between when Jordan Poole was missing shots and Klay Thompson was missing shots, and maybe Steph would miss a shot. They needed those plays by Andrew Wiggins to really keep them alive, because they were down. I think they were down 91-86. Klay was able to hit a turnaround jumper, and then Wiggins got a big offensive board put back, and he did that twice in the fourth quarter, which is big time. Stuff that probably won't even get recognized when you turn on national TV shows when they talk about this game tomorrow. Rightfully so, Steph Curry is going to get a lot of shine because he was incredible. But small things like what Andrew Wiggins did, what Kevon Looney did, were big time. Those were big time championship type plays. So, the Warriors, great win. Steph Curry was incredible. Looney, Wiggs, Steve Kerr, got to give him his credit because Warriors fans be giving him hell when he makes some questionable decisions, man. But he's a championship coach for a reason. And the Warriors won this game, but the Celtics just as much kind of threw it away. And I just think it was not like it was just them playing bad basketball. Like, they just go through these stretches, man. And this is why in my preview I was like, the Celtics have everything it takes to beat the Warriors, except for the fact that they go through stretches like 4, 5, 6 minute stretches where they just look like a junior high basketball team. Like, they just have no flow in their offense, turning the ball over, missing easy shots, wide open shots, just looking rattled, taking rush shots, turning the ball over. If I already said that, this team turns the ball over so much, missing free throws, miscommunications on defense. It's just so many different things, and it was a little bit of everything down the stretch, bro. Turnovers, Jaylen Brown, the Jaylen Brown experience is crazy because there's times where he looks like he's a top 10 player, and then there's times where he looks like a super glorified role player. Like, man, he kept trying to attack down the stretch, and it was not working. And they kept going to it, the Klay Thompson matchup, and it just wasn't working. He was not getting good shots. He was not making good plays. It was bad. It was just so bad. Like, that's when, I look at Ime like, okay, maybe they were low on timeouts, but like, you kind of got to get your guys regrouped. And, when you have a team like the Warriors, when you got them a little bit against the ropes, you can't give them any life. That was my thing about Game 3. The Celtics tried to give the Warriors life, and they were luckily able to close that game out, but they gave them a little too much life. And they did that in this fourth quarter, and they came back to bite them badly. JB was terrible down the stretch. Jason Tatum, man. There's nights where he looks like a top 5 player in the world. Then there's nights like this where it's like, what are you doing? What were you thinking on that pass? We was having a discussion in the group chat. My guy Samari, he said, because I think he mentioned like Marcus Smart was playing bad, or he was blowing him, like he was blowing his shit for real. And I was like, man, Smart's playing cool, but Tatum's the one that's playing like very iffy. And maybe I'm just JT's like biggest critic, but there were moments in the first half where he was just making lazy passes. trying to make cross-court passes that were never open, just lazy passes that were able to get tipped because they were lazy, turnovers in the backcourt that led to wide open threes, just playing bad, like just playing poor, like just making bad decisions. And it seemed like I gave Wiggins his credit defensively because he's been big this entire playoff run, but it seemed like JT wasn't getting calls and he kind of got disengaged on the offensive side of the ball. And it's my thing about the Jays sometimes. It's like they let each other cook a little too much. And if JB doesn't have it going, even if you like that matchup, you gotta get the ball in Tatum's hands. Like, you have to get the ball in Tatum's hands. I know JB scored the most points in the fourth quarter in the postseason. At least that was the stat like a game or two ago. But you gotta get the ball in JT's hands. Like, he was sitting in the corner. It's like Wiggins punked him. Like, he just wasn't even in attack mode. Like, I think he maybe took like two shots in the fourth quarter. Like, this was very reminiscent of, was that game 6 against the Heat? I think it was game 6 against Miami, where it's like JT, you are arguably the best player on the floor. Not tonight. Steph Curry was incredible, but you are the best player on your team. You're the best option. You're probably the best playmaker. Why are you not getting the ball and dictating what goes on this offensive possession? The ball should not be in JB's hands, making decisions 5 possessions in a row. He should be reacting off of you. Marcus Smart should be reacting off of you. Al Horford should be reacting off of you. You need to be able to dictate what goes on in the flow of the offense. And, I don't know what the decision was. I don't know what the conversation was. I don't know why he was so just not involved in the offensive action. But that potentially cost you a game. A game that you had every chance to win. It was a 3-point game going into the final minute and a half. So you had every chance to win this game. It was just little things like that. Like, this team at times just plays like they're not a championship caliber team when they obviously have the talent to do so. It's just little mental things and some growing up things that they have to continue to get better at. That's really what I had to say about that. It's tough, man, because you got a good Derek White game. You got another good Marcus Smart game. I would say for his standards, that was a pretty good game. I like when he's aggressive. And he wasn't taking too many shots that were just out of the flow of the offense until late in the fourth quarter, which I kind of understand because the offense was just so stagnant. JT was not even trying to get the ball. So I kind of understand. Like, Smart kind of had to do what he had to do down the stretch. So his percentages aren't going to look as great as they did, like, through the third quarter. But shit happens. It's a best-of-3 series now. Going back to San Francisco, the Celtics have not lost back-to-back games in this entire postseason run. And the Warriors only have one home loss in this playoff run, too. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think either team has lost back-to-back games. Yeah, because the Warriors only lost... Yeah, neither team has lost back-to-back games. So something has to give in this series. What's it going to be? I'm really going to love to see the adjustments that are made by both coaches, because I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think both coaches see there's stuff that works and there's stuff that's just not working at all. There is stuff that is just not working at all, man. So there's going to be some real adjustments. There's going to be some real tough decisions to make. How much is Draymond Green going to play? Because the way he's playing right now, I don't know if he's going to get, better. I don't know if he's going to get better, man. It's being amplified right now. And Klay Thompson's lucky Draymond's playing so bad, because if not, Klay Thompson would be getting a lot of flack. He'd be getting a lot of flack from Twitter and the media. Like, he'd be getting a lot of flack. The Jays got to be better, man. Like, they got to be better. They were terrible tonight. My opinion. They look good in spurts, but spurts is not going to get it done against the Golden State Warriors. So they got to be better. But one thing I'll say about this finals, if I was a neutral fan, I would be having such a good time. I'm just not having a good time because every game is so stressful and my team's involved. So I'm losing my mind every second of the game. But if I was a neutral fan, I would be enjoying this NBA Finals. This is a very good finals. Like, this is very enjoyable. I would say a lot of games have been in the balance going into the fourth quarter, which is a beauty to see. And now it's now whoever wins 2 out of 3 will be NBA champions, man. A lot's on the line. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm sure everybody that's been tuning in is also excited to see what happens in Game 5. I'm sad that it's on Monday. So now I got to live with this for the rest of the weekend and then going into Monday. So we'll see. Great game. Steph Curry was incredible. Shout out to Wiggs, Loon. And let's hope we get another good game in Game 5. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe. I'm sure I'm gonna have something to talk about after Game 5. I'm recording regardless, man. I appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.